Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible forces that really dictate your day-to-day life at work? It's kind of like a company is a big ship. Sure, the CEO might be the captain at the helm, but what's really steering the ship is this whole complex system of navigation. The maps, the weather reports, how the crew is managed. That entire system, well, that's human resources. And believe me, it's way more powerful than you might think. So, what really shapes the company you work for? Is it just the founder's big idea? Or the product you sell? The real answer, the one we're going to dig into, is that it's this constant push and pull of forces from both inside and outside the company walls. And HR strategy is right in the middle, trying to navigate it all. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by breaking down the two environments HR has to deal with. Then we'll look at how its strategy evolved from just gut feelings into actual science. We'll get into the core debates that define the big choices, check out the trends shaping our future, and then wrap it all up with why this really matters to you. First up, let's talk about HR's two environments. See, every single decision, from who gets hired to what you get paid, is shaped by a mix of things the company can control and a whole lot of things it absolutely can't. It pretty much all boils down to this one key distinction. You've got the internal environment, that's stuff like your company's specific vibe, its culture, and all the official rules. And then you have the external environment, which is, well, everything else. The economy, new laws, massive tech changes. Understanding this split is the secret to decoding almost every move HR makes. Okay, so let's peek behind the company walls. Culture is just massive. It's the personality of the place. Take the Tata conglomerate, for instance. Their whole culture is famously, get the best people and set them free. That one idea shapes their entire management style. Then you have unions, which can have a big say in pay and working conditions. You have the formal company policies, the written rules of the game. And this, by the way, is also where companies lay out how they protect their crucial assets, things like intellectual property and patents. And of course, you have the day-to-day conflicts and collaborations that make up the real workplace. Now let's look at the world outside. Think about it. Economic forces like inflation directly impact what a good salary offer looks like. New labor laws can get passed that force huge changes, practically overnight. And then there's the relentless march of technology, which can make entire jobs disappear or create brand new ones. And HR, they're on the front lines, trying to keep up with it all. So how did HR get so strategic?
Well, it's been a journey. The whole field has gone through this incredible evolution, moving away from ideas based on just observation to a much more rigorous, data-driven science.
You can really see this journey in three distinct phases. Back in the 80s, it was all about big picture ideas, these conceptual models based on what seemed to be working at successful companies. Then, the 90s kicked off the era of empirical examination. This is when researchers started doing the hard work to actually prove a link between HR practices and a company's financial performance. And for the last 20 years or so, we've been in an era of empirical critique, where scholars are fine-tuning those studies, questioning assumptions, and digging for even deeper answers. So, what did all that science actually lead to? It led to this number, 0.20. Now, I know that might not sound like a huge number, but in organizational science, that's a big deal. After looking at 92 different studies, researchers found that this was the effect size, basically a standard way to measure the real impact that strategic HR has on a company's performance. The message here is powerful. Good HR isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have thing. It has a clear, predictable, and positive impact on the bottom line. It's not a theory anymore. It's a proven science. And this brings us to the core debates happening inside HR. Okay, so now we know these practices matter, but which ones should a company actually choose? Well, it all comes down to a strategic balancing act between some pretty powerful competing ideas. One of the absolute classics is commitment versus control. There was this landmark study back in the 90s by a guy named Arthur who looked at steel mills. He found that the mills using a commitment system, empowering their workers, training them, they had way higher productivity and lower turnover. The mills that used a control system, all about strict rules, supervision, efficiency, they just didn't do as well. And even though commitment sounds like the obvious winner, I bet you've seen this exact debate play out in your own career. Another huge one is fit versus flexibility. Think about it. Should you build a perfect HR system that fits your current business strategy like a glove? Or, in a world that's changing so fast, is it smarter to build a flexible system that lets your company pivot and adapt to whatever comes next? There's no easy answer here, and a lot of it depends on just how stable your industry is. So, how do these big foundational debates actually pop up in our work lives?
Well, they're playing out right now in the major trends that are shaping the future for all of us. Just take a look at this. Hybrid work. This isn't some temporary fix from the pandemic. It is a fundamental reshaping of what a workplace even is. That 81% figure, a projection for 2024, shows a massive shift. It's forcing HR to completely rethink everything from how we work together to how you even maintain a company culture when you're not in the same building. At the very same time, the focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion has just exploded. The market for DEI services was worth $7.5 billion in 2020. By 2026, it's projected to more than double to $15.4 billion. That's not just talk, that shows a serious corporate investment in trying to create fairer, more inclusive workplaces. And then, of course, there's AI. Generative AI is already transforming HR, doing everything from writing job descriptions to running employee chatbots. But as HR specialist Sahana Rao says here, this incredible power comes with a huge responsibility. The big challenge is making sure this technology is used ethically, that it protects our data and our privacy. And as she puts it, that takes constant vigilance. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. Why does this deep dive into HR theory and all these trends actually matter to you and your career? Here's the bottom line. Your workplace didn't just happen by accident. It's a system, carefully designed by balancing its own internal culture against all those external pressures. And that design process isn't just guesswork. It's a science that we know has a real impact on success. The policies you deal with every day, they're the result of those big debates like commitment versus control. And the huge trends we're seeing right now, like AI and hybrid work, they're just the next chapter in this incredible evolving story. And that leaves us with a really critical question, one we all have to think about for our own careers. As AI gets better and better at managing the resources part of human resources, what's our role? How do we make sure these powerful new tools are used not just to make things more efficient, but to actually protect and elevate the human at the very heart of it all?